Welcome to another episode. Now, in our modern age, most of us carry around a smartphone. Ironically, a lot of people don't use their smartphones to make phone calls anymore, and they're really not phones. Nowadays, these you know phones are so powerful, technologically wise, that they are actually portable supercomputers. Okay, so business and work is probably the most important thing that you would want to use your phone for. So with that being said, you're going to need the right, business tools to get things done. Now, the majority of people are familiar with Microsoft Office, and you definitely want to have applications and programs that will allow you to continue working on that, and also that is compatible. And the very first set of tools that I recommend that you download are all these Google tools here. Okay. So for office related items, I recommend you download Sheets, Docs, and Slides. So Sheets is the same as Microsoft Excel, Docs is the same as Microsoft Word, and Slides is the same as Microsoft PowerPoint. Now, there is compatibility in terms of like the basic uses, but if you're doing more advanced things on the files that you have on your laptop or desktop, they might not translate over 100%. So that means that, this is great if you are on the go and you wanted to create any type of these documents and you wanted a very simple version of it. So the example I'm going to use is slides, which is PowerPoint, and I created a test one right here. And it's just three very simple slides. You could change the title, you could move things around, you could add additional slide, you could add images. And see, I just created a test slide there. I could create another one right here. Let's see, now I have four slides. So I could just call this new slide. Okay. And now I have you know, another slide to my presentation. And you can also, export this. You could share it, and it's also synchronized with your Google account, so it allows you to work on this while you're on the go because this can be saved on the cloud. And once again, very simple, easy tools if you want to do very basic versions. So moving on to other Google apps, I recommend you definitely download Google Drive. And in a previous episode, I talked about how to use Google Drive, the basics. And here's exactly the same folder that I had access to earlier. So this is essential, especially if you are working in teams around the world. It's essential for you to have some type of online storage. And what I recommend is Google Drive. Okay, so these are all free, by the way. And another tool that most people who are smartphone users, they will already have some type of calendar built in already. But if you wanted one that you can use across different places and is also on the cloud, Google Calendar is a great free tool, and it allows you to synchronize with your existing calendar on your phone. And the final Google app that I recommend is Google Keyboard. This is really important because there's so many different keyboards that you have on your smartphones, and it's nice to have one main type of keyboard to have that same consistent look and feel, and you don't have to um, you know learn a new keyboard. Now that you have all your Google apps downloaded, let's go ahead and move on to what I consider your power tools. Now, one note that I want to make is that I'm doing all of this on Android, an Android phone. So if you are using Apple and iPhone, iOS, some of these apps might not be available. But most of them, like the Google apps, are available, except for this Google keyboard here. But let's go ahead and continue with the Office type applications. Okay, now, as I said earlier, the Google applications here on the top, they're very, handy and useful if you want to do very basic type of files and documents. Okay, but if you wanted to do more complex Office related applications, you definitely want to get Office Suite Pro, and the Pro version is paid. So the difference here is it still has your documents, spreadsheets, and presentation, but it also has PDF features as well. And the most important thing is this is really a powerful tool. So let's go back to the presentation example. as you could see right away, this looks way different than say something like your your Google Slides, which is very, very basic and very simple, which is great if you want to get things done very quickly. But if you are a power user, you use Microsoft Office a lot, I definitely uh, would recommend that you use this Office Suite Pro. So let's go back here. And there's a lot of features on top that you would be familiar with if you are a power user of Microsoft Office, or if you're the type of person who does this at work every single day. And there's more features down here too. So I think this is an essential tool if you're the type of person who uses Microsoft Office or Office related tools heavily. So another thing that most people don't think about, and I didn't neither until I started using it more, is your File Explorer. And when you have a laptop or desktop, you're used to using a File Explorer to see all your folders, also to organize things and manage it. Now, most smartphones do come with a built-in File Explorer, but it's very basic and it's not very powerful. With this ES File Explorer, you're able to do pretty much everything that you would do on your laptop and desktop, and also some other things that are not available to a laptop and desktop. And there's also a lot of tools here, and you can also synchronize this as well. So definitely an essential tool as well, especially if you have a lot of folders and a lot of business type things that you want to organize here. And moving on to things that you probably wouldn't think about is if you're the type of person who takes a lot of notes, I recommend Color Note. You can also do Evernote, but I feel that that one has, a lot of features, and it's not quite as easy to use as something like Color Note. And Color Note is very simple. You could create a normal text file or a checklist, and you can also have multiple, notes. It's under different colors, and you could rename it as well. And let me show you this checklist one real quick. So I did a list for this date here, and see you could also add more items to this list. So you can also mark things off as you're done with it. So Color Note's a very handy tool. There's also security here. You could also lock files as well to keep people out of it. So an excellent tool, especially the type of person who takes a lot of notes. Now, we talked about Google Calendar a little bit earlier, but what if you're the type of person who relies heavily on your calendar? The tool that I recommend is Horte. And it is not a pretty tool by any means, but it's extremely, extremely powerful. Okay, you could do things, such as adding different type of events on here. And what I mean by that is, if you are in traveling internationally, you could add calendars from all around the world. You could create multiple calendars. You could even create a daily diary log, and then you could connect it with other services as well. And you also have a lot of power over how your calendars look, act, and so forth. So very powerful tool. Like I said, it's not the prettiest one, but I really feel that for people who basically live by their calendar, this is an excellent tool. And this is the free version, but there's also a premium version as. So these last two tools that I want to talk about, they're not really essential for business and productivity. However, they will, improve your experience in certain cases. Okay. The first being a speed test. Now, a lot of people are familiar with this from the laptop or desktop, but they also have a mobile version. Now, my screen's going to change really quickly. So this tool, it's very similar to the one on the laptops and desktops. So that quickly allows you to test your internet speeds wherever you're at, so your download speeds and your upload speeds. Now, why that is important is if you are the type of person who is uh, always on the road or always on the go, you want to make sure that the internet is fast enough wherever you are. So that would save you some time, spending time anywhere. If you know that the internet is not going to be fast enough, you could go to another location that will have the speeds that will suit your needs. Now, the last tool I want to talk about is Nova Launcher. Okay, now what is a launcher first and foremost? Well, this is actually the user interface that you're using on your smartphone. And typically your launcher is going to look something like this. Okay, let me change it real quick. And this is going to change vertically. Okay. So most of the times your launcher looks something like this. Okay, so whatever manufacturer's phone that you buy, it'll have a built-in launcher. Okay, and this is something that I think is fine for most people. But if you're a power user, just like the whole Google keyboard thing that I talked about earlier, you want a very consistent look and you want it to be very powerful. For example, most launchers if you turn your phone around in a landscape mode, they will not turn over. Like it'll just stay in this vertical mode, as you could probably see. But with Nova Launcher, I have more power as to how my actual screen and interface looks, and it keeps everything very, very consistent. So if you're the type of person who moves around from device to device, especially on Android, having this Nova Launcher comes in really, really handy because you don't have to relearn how to use your phone on a different interface. So that's it for this episode on business and productivity tools on your smartphone. And if you had any apps and tools that you use that allow you to get more done or be more effective, be sure to leave your ideas and comments below. Thanks for watching this episode. And if you enjoyed these tutorials, reviews, be sure to leave a like, a comment, and of course, subscribe. And we'll see you on another episode of Tech Tools Review.